It's being reported that WWE 2K22 could be going over to a much more of a service model, and we could be looking at the end of standard DLC. Today on the show, we're going to talk about 5 things that would work for a service model in WWE 2K22. Let's go. So the reports recently came out and we covered this on the show, discussing how the supposed plans for the DLC content for 2K22 was ruined because of all of the recent releases by WWE. 2K has reportedly been having to put all of that away, scrap all the ideas because of the rumored DLC pack that was going to launch was going to be focusing around NXT stars like Bronson Reed. So let's say that the tried and true tradition of standard DLC for WWE 2K games is going to be a thing of the past. And they move in and they usher in a new era. Vince loves his new eras, doesn't he? So let's do a new era of 2K22. And let's say they do move over to a service model where it's going to be updates and upgrades coming to the game as more of a platform versus what we're used to in the past of getting DLC drops every couple of months over the course of a year, then moving into development of the next title. If they did this, to me, one of the things they could do that would be a big win, and the positives to all of this could be we actually get things like new attires actually dropped in the game as part of the service model. Instead of it being DLC packs of superstars that are new to the company that we couldn't get into the game right around launch time, or it's a Legends pack or an NXT Stars pack. Instead of that, maybe one of the great things they could be doing is giving us updated new attires to go along with our superstars that we have in the game. If they do these incremental service updates throughout the course of the year or beyond into 2-3 years of this title and making it much more of a platform for players, when superstars change their attires, change their look, stars like Alexa Bliss, stars like Roman Reigns, stars like Seth Rollins, when they update their attires and their look, it would be fantastic if 2K was able to grab all of that and update it in the game. Community creations are fantastic and they're wonderful, but as players, I think we want to be able to see those updates happen more regularly from the developers themselves so that it all lines up and we don't get anything wonky. The second thing that they could do with a live service platform is talk about new arenas. We get refresh sets for Raw, SmackDown, NXT 2.0. We get all of these amongst that in the pay-per-views, WrestleMania 2. These stadiums, these arenas change fairly often, sometimes within the year of a game being released. And it would be really great if it was a platform model versus a DLC model that 2K can go in and update the platform by giving us the refresh brand new arenas that are in the game. When we get into things like Royal Rumble, WrestleMania season, and we see the actual arena and the set design for those events, those big marquee pay-per-views, to me, it's a really good strategy marketing idea if you're able to upload that into the game from the developer side to keep things fresh, to get players back into the game, to get them to try out the brand new arenas and the brand new attires that just dropped. The other thing they could do with this is MOVESETS, and you've all talked about this in the community as well, is that you were looking at giving us updated MOVESETS and actually getting to beyond like the slimmed down version we got in 2K20. Instead of putting an updated move pack as DLC content in the game, put it in as free to play. Put it in as an actual update. What if a star like Roman Reigns changes his finisher and we get away from the spear, or he adds something else or another new submission to his move set, or Seth Rollins changes things out and goes from the pedigree to the curb stomp back to the pedigree into something else. If we see stars take on new moves, if they add something new that is substantial like a signature or a finisher, adding that in as part of the free to play service model, that would do a lot for players wanting to stay with the game and keeping it fresh for a lot longer than 1 year. And we know that GM mode has been heavily rumored and talked about as being the mode in this game. That leads a lot of us to believe that we wouldn't receive or see a showcase mode in the next game. Because of all of the actual development and everything going presumably towards a GM mode, I don't know that we would necessarily get a showcase mode. But one way to bring it back in over the course of the next year, 2 years, you could actually do full service drops and add in free showcases for select superstars over the course of, say, 2 years. And what would be really cool if they went down this path with the showcase add-on content is that you could actually put in rivalries, key moments throughout the last year and put them into a showcase mode. Let us go through and see this last 2 years of Roman Reigns' dominance at the top, being WWE Universal Champion. Let us go through a bit of a story showcase that's an hour, maybe 2 hours of Brock Lesnar or Seth Rollins or Becky Lynch's heel turn. If they do those things, they can stay more up to date with the product that's happening on TV. Fans can actually play out really awesome scenarios, rivalries that are honed in, and big moments for WWE, as WWE loves their giant moments. And 2K could actually tie these in to big marquee times of the year like WrestleMania and give us a WrestleMania showcase mode highlighting a couple of matches with some cutscenes or just key moments to play through that are lasting maybe a few hours tops. Again, it's to get players reinvested in the game and keep them there longer versus turning it off because things are out of date or there's not enough to bring them back in. And that leads me to the last point, talking about GM mode. We don't know what GM mode is going to look like. And I think a lot of us, including myself, we look at years past of GM mode in SmackDown versus Raw and think we're going to get that and just modernize newer menus and updated versions and contract and numbers and all this stuff. And that's what we're going to get. We don't know what to expect from a GM mode if it is in the game. Rumors and reports going on even right now is that from insiders saying that there's actually going to be GM mode 100% in this game. But the way that they could build upon it, if we're getting a base, bare bones, stripped down version of it, for example, the way that 2K could actually build this up and keep players invested for many years is if you do expansions into the GM mode, into that universe mode for players. Adding in new contract stipulations, patch some updates into GM mode. If they just tweak and modify that mode as the years go by, maybe try to keep it up to date live with the happenings of WWE TV, that could keep players sustained and bringing them back. But if they continue to expand off the base GM mode and add more free content to it, they don't need to rely so heavily on the DLC. You'll get more players playing the game as a platform longer term, and that's what you want. And you could still go down the path, down the road of releasing DLC packs as new stars come in, or they feel like launching something that's really, really cool. But let me know in the comments below, what do you think about having no more DLC in WWE 2K22? Do you think it's true? Do you think that we go for a free service model? Let me know. And if you enjoyed this episode, check out the one that we just posted talking about how the DLC has been removed, covering all the news on that topic. Thanks for watching, everybody, and I'll see you next episode.